4 hours ago, registration opened for the Medtronic Twin Cities Marathon. The actual event is 7 months out, so there's still time to train, but we want to make sure you do it right. That's why we're talking with Dr. Catherine Choi, a spine physician and running enthusiast. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Cece.
Yeah, so, okay, let's start with, for someone like me who just got into running, what's a good starting point to getting the body moving?
Well, congratulations on getting started in running. I am a running enthusiast, meaning that I never was a runner growing up. In medical school, I got introduced to running by having a friend sign me up for a 5K. That seemed like an insurmountable feat at the time, but I did it, and it helps definitely to have support and friends to run with. Joining a running group might be a good way to get started, just so that you can um, build experience and kind of getting out there and running in different conditions. I think starting at the point that you're at and then just building slowly. So, a good rule of thumb is always to increase no more than 10% at a time per week. And so, just kind of sticking with repetition and working slow to achieve better distance each week. Um, Marathon registration did open yesterday, and it's about 7 months away, which is plenty of time for anyone to work towards training for a marathon.
Yeah, slow and steady. I like that. Not too overwhelming. Okay, you say you're a running enthusiast. Once we're at that point where we're running enthusiasts like you, how can we make sure we're not plateauing, but actually staying healthy, making gains?
I think it's important to not just allow yourself to be only running. I think it's important to stick with other cardiovascular exercise and stretching and strengthening. Um, Running probably 3 to 4 times a week, maybe shorter distances of 3 to 5 miles at a time on a daily basis, and then aiming for one long run a week would be a good way to kind of train. There's lots of great marathon prep programs that you can find online, but I think sticking with running maybe 3 to 4 times a week, but maybe doing other exercises those other 1 or 2 days a week, such as yoga, Pilates, something that also allows you to work on flexibility while you're also working on your endurance for strengthening is a great idea.
All right, slowly building what you're doing. Another great tip. All right, so being active and running is great, but we want to do it safely. How can we achieve being active, without getting injured?
I think making sure that if you do feel pain starting, so for example, if you're out on a longer run and you start feeling pain on the outside of your knee or in your heel, maybe cutting the run a little short that day and spending a little bit of extra time stretching, maybe giving yourself a day or two off, maybe doing some yoga exercise to actively stretch the area that's injured, and make sure that you allow that area to heal and recover before you try to push yourself more. I think a lot of patients try to stick with their training program, and they're kind of flexible and rigid with what day they're supposed to be progressing. And I think allowing your body time to recover from any pre-injury would be important to allow yourself to be able to successfully run the marathon. Also, I think signing up for little short races along the way might be a really good way to ramp up your endurance and ability, and also your confidence in races. There's a lot that goes into marathon running, from even just the race expo, being exposed to expos and be understanding how to get your bib, and the amount of people that are going to be involved, and understanding how when you start a race, there's actually corrals for different start times, and kind of getting used to that experience would be helpful if you sign up for a 5K, a 10K, maybe even a half marathon leading up to the actual race day.
Perfect. So many great tips to offer as runners get ready for this Medtronic Twin Cities Marathon. Again, registration is now open. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have all of these
Thank you
tips.
for having me.
Yeah, I'll have all these tips from Dr. Choi at care11.com/new. All right, we'll be right back.